Alrighty. Hello, hello,
Mhm.
hello.
Hello.
So I have something I really want to share here with everybody because it's it's my heart is bleeding when I hear Japanese students saying things like this. So I made bunch of notes
Mhm.
about the Japanese killing themselves before even touching English language. And I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 points, but I'm sure it's just a tip of the iceberg, and there's way more than that.
Okay.
That I would like to share today
Mm.
some of the misconception and some of the um, basically stereotypes that the
Mm.
Japanese are doing to themselves, and I don't think they even realize that.
Okay. 日本人が誤解してること、英語に対して誤解してること。
英語に対して誤解してることだけではなくて、本当に自分の首を絞める英語を勉強する日本人のことです。
Okay.
So the examples are not something that I came up with. I was just recently I've been talking to adult professionals who are going abroad, some of them are already abroad. They're working with English environment. They're Japanese native speakers, and I don't think they realize how much they basically harm themselves in English. Okay,
Okay.
so the background of the story is this. Adult Japanese in their 20s, 30s, 40s, and even 50s, both being in Japan, learning English, and living already abroad, England, Australia, Canada, New Zealand, doing working holiday, and thinking like this, making comments like this, not realizing that you basically shoot your own foot. Okay, let's dive in.
Okay, please.
One of the common thing is I have to study hard.
そう思っちゃうんだよね。
It's not just expression that it's wrong. I mean, when you say I have to study English hard, I know what people say, I know what people mean, and yeah, we understand that in English. But it's not about words in English here, it's about your attitude. Look, very short, simple solution and explanation at the same time. Behind the left ear here in every human being, there is something which is called limbic resonance. And this is the part of the brain that is responsible for what I want to do.
それはこの左の耳の後ろにあるんだね。second word?
Limbic. 日本語で言ったら、左耳の上に、脳の中にちっちゃなの部分は、日本語のはちょっとわからないけど、limbic resonance っていうことは、これは科学的な名前です。この脳の部分の責任は、人間の感じ、気持ち、例えば大好き、大嫌い、愛するに対して、やりたい、何々してほしいに対して、このちっちゃな部分は limbic resonance の、責任です。これはコントロールの部分です。And so the moment when you study English and you say, I have to study English hard, you're gonna like it?
好きじゃないね、その時点で。
So you are already sending impression to yourself. I have to study hard.
やりたくないけどってことね。
That's what I mean. The Japanese are shooting their own food. Don't do that. Don't do that. If you already hate English, don't even touch it. Don't even start studying it. If you're already abroad, go back to Japan. But on a serious note, try, this is the solution. try to find the thing in, if you're in Australia, if you're in Canada, if you're in New Zealand, maybe in England, try to find the thing that you can admit in front of yourself. もう一回日本語で言ったら、本当に自分の前に、中に、うちと一緒にお話ししてください。もうカナダにいる、もう3ヶ月オーストラリアにいらっしゃる。イングランドですね。イギリスでもう半年ぐらいやってるけど、なんか正直に英語の以外にどのようなことなんかすることが好きですか？
英語じゃなくてね。
偽物ではない。偽物ではない。正直にあなたは何をやりたいっていうのことは認めてください。
要するに英語は一つ置いといて、まず自分が何をしたいのか、何が好きなのかっていうのをまず自分に聞くってことね。
これは答えたら、じゃあもう環境は360度英語の環境、オーストラリア、カナダ、イギリス、アイルランド、スコットランド、ニュージーランド、アメリカ、なんとか、ぜひぜひやってください。あとは、英語はちなみに環境だから使うより仕方がない言語だから、その時は集中はやりたいことです。
英語を先に持ってくるんじゃなくて、自分がやりたいことを集中して、それをやりたいから、それに英語が必要だったりっていう、周りの環境が英語だからやっていくっていう考え方にするってことね。
そうです。その通りです。
その方がいいよね。
そうですね。Because the Japanese, I have the feeling when I talk to lots of those Japanese who study English language, I have the feeling that they treat English language like a job in a corporation in Japan. 99.9% of the Japanese working for any Japanese company, they will say, I don't like my job, I just do it for money. So it's kind of the same with English. I don't like English, I just do it for what? For Aiken? For TOEIC? For
future?
What do you do this for? This is ridiculous. Don't do that. Okay, so that's one thing. Crossed. Okay, and here's another thing. And I don't even know what people mean by that, but this is just ridiculous. I cannot show my mind, right?
でも英語は、
どうぞ。
英語は自分の気持ち、感情を見せる、伝える言語だよね。
But too many Japanese are saying, on one hand, they are saying, oh, I want to express my feelings. I want to express my emotions. I struggle with English. I cannot explain what I want to say. And then at the same time, I don't want to say the name, but I was just talking to this lady 2 days ago, and she's in her 40s, and she's in an international environment. And she says, I cannot, I speak to my English friend, I speak to my Australian friend, but I cannot show my mind, right? And I'm like, but the communication purpose is you show your mind, so your conversation partner knows what you think, and then they show you their mind, and that's how the communication work.
Sure. You cannot share your mind, and they cannot get close to you.
Well, and another thing that's what I call in English, shoot your own foot, or in Japanese, 自分の首を絞める. Like, look what I just said. And I paraphrase, I repeat the Japanese students. The Japanese students say, I struggle with expressing my feelings and expressing my thoughts. I want to be able to speak in English what I want to say. And at the same time, they say, I cannot show my mind. I don't want them to see my... 逆説じゃないですか、これ。
かなり。
Don't do that. Don't do that. Right?
心を開いてね。
Yeah, just don't do that. Here's the third one, a big one. I need to have an opinion. 自分の、英語で言ったら、ガンで自分の足を打ってる。You shoot your own foot, but in Japanese, 自分の首を絞める。So here is the big thing that the Japanese who study English, they really have to understand. Opinion in English language and opinion in Japanese language, they're completely two different animals.
How different?
Well, people in Japan, they really cherish their opinion. They really protect their opinion. They really think that their opinion is almost as important or even more important than reality because it's my opinion. In English language, it's just your opinion. Nobody cares about your opinion. It almost doesn't have the value. When you say, oh, it's my opinion, whatever, nobody cares about it.
Yeah, that's your opinion. It's not mine. It's not reality. It's not the fact. So I don't care, right?
So, like you just said very well, in Western culture, in English, in Anglo-Saxon culture, facts and reality are more important than your opinion. So when you say, I need to have an opinion, well, if you don't have an opinion about something, maybe you need to do the research and develop the opinion. That's one possibility. Second, if you treat opinion that is some kind of status or standard, and if you have opinion, people respect you in English-speaking cultures, no, they don't. You're not gonna get higher status. You're not gonna be more important. People will not respect you more if you have your opinion, because unlike in Japan, in Western countries, in US, in Canada, Australia, England, Ireland, Scotland, New Zealand, it's just your opinion. Sorry for being very, very colloquial. Nobody gives a shit about your opinion in English. That's reality. So if you have your opinion, great. But don't expect that people will be bowing to you, kyujudo, because you have opinion.
Because everybody has the opinion. So.
Yeah, and the hierarchy, like I said, in Japan, hierarchy, it's I understand why. I understand why, especially for women. 日本語で言ったら日本の男尊女卑文化だから40歳まで多分なんか上司たちの意見はあまり大事ではないです。一人も聞こえない。男尊女卑文化だから。我々はこのままでやってないです。我々のために男性とか上司たちとか個人的で人間の意見、人間の人の考え方は我々喜んで聞き取れる。いや、でも、常識より意見はもっと大事というわけではないです。
そうだね、意見はちゃんと聞いてくれるけど、だからといってそれが受け入れられるかどうかっていうのはまた別の問題だから。
Right. So don't try to push the Japanese construct, the Japanese idea of my opinion is important, so listen to me in English, or because I have an opinion, so I'm important in English language, in English environment. That will never work because our value are very different. So be careful with your Japanese opinion. In
例えば、英語に対して、ここは英語に関して、英語を学んでいる人のためにやってるところだからあれだけど、自分が英語に対する意見、英語の勉強の仕方とかっていう意見があってもいいけど、それが実際、リアリティとマッチをしてないんだったら、もうそれはもう自分で自分の首を絞めてるってことでしょ。
絶対その通りです。そう思います。Okay, I have another one. This is a big one, okay? And I was surprised because I was talking to a bunch of adults, like I said, in their 40s and 50s last week. And before I thought, oh, it's just, teenagers, maybe early 20 guys who say that. But no, Guys in the 40s and 50s say that too. Here's number 4. Are you ready? Because this one is fun. I cannot ask again.
どういうこと？
So, people, you really have to wake up. You're not born and not raised in English spoken culture. You're born and raised in Japan. Of course, there will be always million things you don't know about English language, even if you've been studying English language for 10 years or 20 years. Even if you've been to Harry Potter Museum in England already gazillion times, even if you spent 1 year working holiday in Canada, and then you switch for co-op visa, so you spent 2 years in Canada, and then you went to Australia for 1 year. Even after all that, there will be still a lot of things you don't know.
そうだね。
Guess what? I've been coming to Japan for almost 20 years. I live here 6 months every year. I used to work here. I used to work for Expo. I used to work for the government. I used to study here. Guess what? I still ask many questions.
確か
And there is a lot of ththings I don't understand.
に。
There are kanji I don't understand. There are customs. Ayumi, how many times a day I'm asking you about something in Japanese because I don't understand?
I'm not counting.
That's how many times I'm asking questions. So when the 40, 50-year-old person who's in international environment and using English every day says to me, I cannot ask again. 自分の首絞める。
そうだね、もったいない。
I'm sorry for saying this, but this is stupid. This is and I use this word strongly, and I am aware how strong this word is. But if you make a limit on yourself not to ask questions, I cannot ask again. You're stupid for making a limit like this for yourself. Maybe you can make a title today. Don't be stupid for making a limit of how many questions a day you can ask to the same guy, because it's ridiculous. I'll give you example. I'll give you example from one of my students in Vancouver. They had this stupid theory. So they had this idea that if they go to the house party, like a potluck in Canada, and there's a bunch of Canadians and different, ESL students from Brazil, from Peru, somebody from Europe, and they're the only one Japanese in the crowd. So they are making an idea in their head that, okay, in this party, I can ask 3 questions. And if I will ask the 3 questions, then I cannot ask any more questions because people around me, they will be thinking that, I'm stupid. I don't know many things. So maybe I shouldn't ask more questions. So how are you supposed to know new things if you don't ask questions?
そうだね。それよりもあれなんだ。世間体というか、どういうふうに人に見られるかっていうところが気になってしまって、なんかできない、質問ができないってことか。
そうですね。And please don't tell me, 頑張れ、頑張れ。And please don't tell me, 日本人なので、我々は温厚知心で一生懸命。これも動かないです。
日本語で喋ってても、日本人として日本で生まれて、日本の教育を受けても知らないことはたくさんあるから、それを第二言語の英語で知らないことがあるのは当たり前っていうのが前提にあるってことをまず考えた方がいいってことよね。知らないから、で、相手も別に私たちのことを日本人って理解をして英語を喋って接してくれてるから、知らないことがあって質問されるのは別にそれがお前はバカだとかって指をさされることはないから、積極的に分からなければ分からないって聞いて。
これ分かります。これ分かります。これは日本人だけではないですね。なんか学校の時はカナダとかオーストラリアとか他のなんか英語喋られないとかヨーロッパの国とか、英語喋れるの、国もみんなは周りの方は何か、おかしいとかちょっと、変な感じ言ったらみんなは指をささないようにみんなは ちょっと緊張する。これは普通です。これは日本だけではないです。でも日本っぽいのことは分からないことは分からない。
そのままにしちゃう。
これは自分の首絞める。
そうね。
日本の外で分からないことは質問する。あとは3回だけリミットということは、すみません。どこで、どのような教科書、どのような自力で3回だけ質問してもいいルールが書いてある。誰かこの本を出版されたということは聞き取りたいです。
ミッションみたいな感じだね。
玉川ネジがいろいろやってみたいかな。
わからないことは質問する、ね。
That's really, that's really, so what? So what you will ask 5 times? So what you will ask 10 times? So what? You know what it means? It means you really want to know. That's what it means. What a stupid rule. I will make 2 or 3 questions only and then I cannot ask. So you're training yourself in not knowing.
もったいない。
Don't do that. Don't do that. Okay. This is a good one. Okay, here's number 5. I have to catch some words. I hear it all the time when I ask the Japanese students, especially the one who are going for working holiday in 2025, because all of them they say, "Oh, I want to make foreign friends. I want to talk to many foreigners about various topics." Typical expression. And then I asked them, okay, so what would you like to talk about? And so how do you imagine conversation? And they say that I have to catch some words.
そしたら理解できないですよね。
This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. I have to catch some words. Are you kidding me? There's no such thing like catching words. And to everybody who is thinking I have to catch some words, I have a better suggestion for you. Here's the solution. Stop catching the words. You're not fishing to catch the fish. Languages are not catching a fish. Okay? You have to not catch, but you have to match the context.
Context, yes.
So for example, let's say we talk about traveling, and I say I like ocean, I like swimming, and I like scuba diving, but you don't like swimming and scuba diving. So we are not matching in this context.
Yes.
So, but I'm telling you that last time when I was scuba diving with my friend, he's actually great climber. And you are interested in mountains and hiking and rock climbing. And so I keep talking about Dave. Dave is a cool buddy of mine. He's doing so many different activities. He knows all the range of the mountains in North Vancouver, and he's a great scuba diver. And he goes every weekend to Squamish for rock climbing on Chief, and he did Black Task, 6 times last season. You skip everything I said about scuba diving, and you ask me how to get in touch with Dave. And then I'm like, oh, why you're so interested in Dave? Oh, because I do a lot of hikes in Japan, and I like mountains. Oh, right on, that's cool. You see this tall guy, like 180 plus, with the short blonde hair and the tank top, standing in that room talking to those 2 girls? That's Dave. Go and talk to him tell him that I send you. Tell them that we're talking about Dave and you are hiking and he's all about hiking, and just come up to Dave and talk to Dave. It's not catching words. It's matching context.
そうね、文脈。
The Japanese are trying to catch some words,
Mm.
and then they follow their omoikomi. I know that because I work with the Japanese students and I look at their faces every day when we have a classes,
Mm.
and I ask them question and they pretend they understand. Maiko, わかる? Rikako, わかる? Tomo, わかる? はいはいはい、わかるわかる。顔の雰囲気は、はてなはてなはてなはてなはてなはてなはてな。何もわからないんです。でも、分かってふり。
Mm.
And I'm like, okay, Michael, what did I say? Looking for catching the word they remember I said last time. And then they say, Dave, Dave, Dave. デイブは日本に生まれて育ってるの、ワーホリ、学生ですね。デイブはスキューバダイビング好き、カナダに来て、マットと一緒にスキューバダイビングを遊びに行きたいっていうことですか？
Mm.
いや、先のお兄ちゃんは、田中君。彼は日本に生まれて育った。彼はワーホリに来て。彼はスキューバダイビング全く興味がないです。私はスキューバダイビング好き。彼はハイキングと山好きです。デイフ君はカナダ人です。デイフ君は向こうの部屋で、ハイキングとロッククライミングの専門家です。田中君とデイフと一緒につながってお互いの興味のことに話し、これは私はさっき言ってたのこと。That's catching the words. The Japanese are trying to catch some word and then だいたいこの辺ぐらいなんか guessing.
Mm.
Nobody speaks any language on planet Earth by guessing and catching the word. If you want to catch something, take a fishing rod and go catch fish. If you want to speak the language, don't catch words.
Mm.
Match the context. Look for the context you are interested. If you are not interested in the context, move it away.
Mm.
Change the subject. Ignore it. Look for the people who are talking the context. 文脈、共通点がある文脈探して。何も言葉つかむということはやってみないでください。怪しい言葉をつかむと見たら、気まずい立場は 100% チャンスです。
そうだね。
Don't catch the words. Don't catch the words. Match the context. What you are interested to do. What was matching your hobby? What is matching your plan? What is matching your ideas? Match the context. Don't catch the words.
Okay.
Okay, this is really big. Next, here we go. Number 6. This is huge. I cannot make a mistake. Hush. 何の時代、このままで喋れるの人は何の時代生まれた？戦国時代生まれたの方ですか？かな？ I don't understand people who say, I cannot make a mistake. What do you mean? You never made a mistake in your life? What do you mean? なんか、if you make a mistake, you're gonna commit suicide? Like, 切腹？腹切り？ What do you mean I cannot make a mistake?
Of course you can make a mistake.
You know? Okay, here's the 単刀直入. Do you know what's the most important part of every human being that makes us perfect? Do you know what? Let me repeat it again slowly. Do you know what's the most important part of every human being on planet Earth that makes us perfect? We make mistakes. That's what makes us perfect. That's it. Number 2, have you ever met a perfect person? I haven't. Everybody makes mistakes. You know how many mistakes Michael Jordan made before he became Michael Jordan in the Chicago Bulls with the number 23? Like gazillion? Who are you to say I cannot make a mistake? Who are you thinking you are better than anybody else? You cannot make a mistake. It's 本当に俺様。間違いは受けられないです。私は間違いはやることができないです。すごく天狗になる感じする。
なんか日本語で言ったら、ミスをしない人はどんな人ですかっていう質問があって、その答えは何もしない人。
何もしない人は間違いないですけど、もう何もしない人は何も上達しないです。何も知識は受けられない。これも常識です。逆に自分の間違い、これは俺の授業、カナダの授業で日本の生徒さんと一緒に、なんか毎年何年間ぐらい繰り返すなんか覚えてないです。本当に毎年同じ比べ物、同じ言葉を繰り返してます。日本で目的は一番大変な日本人の敵です。カナダで目的は、とにかくカナダで英語の間違いは、あるいは何でも間違いは、みんなの一番いい友達です。
そうだね。
この友達のおかげで、間違いのおかげで、自分の進歩、自分の上達はよくわかりやすいし、よく見えて、なので、ちゃんと毎日一歩一歩進んでる。
そうね、間違いしないと何が正しくて何が間違ってるのかさえわからないからね。
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, let's move on. Next one. Okay, this is a big one. So this is like number 8. My method. And to give you a context, I hear this recently here in 2024 from both students in Japan who are learning English language, but I hear it also from the students abroad who are already in Australia and New Zealand and in Canada. So that's the picture, okay? And many of them, they say my method. So I met this one girl last weekend. She's in Japan, and she sent me a YouTube movie of some other guy who is just recording how he's learning English language, and he's showing a bunch of books and bunch of text that he's memorizing, and he's making like a vlog that he shows edited, like, this is how I speak the same text after 2 days. This is how I speak the same text after 10 days, but it's the same text. And this is 3 weeks later, how I read and speak the same text. So essentially, he's showing how he's memorizing the same text. And then this lady who sent me this YouTube movie of this guy memorizing text in English from different books, she says, this is my method of study. And I'm like, no, it's not. First of all, it's not your method. You didn't create here anything. You just, I know what she says. I know what she tried to express. She says, this is my method. Well, let me clarify something very, very, very specifically. When you say my method, it means you created, you put together your own methodology, your techniques, your strategy. You created that. In this case, you're just matching something that somebody already created, and you think it's easy and it's comfortable for you, so you will do the same way. That's not your method. Okay? A lot of people in Japan, they say, my method for studying English. And I understand what they mean, but they are not looking for method to improve English. They're looking for the method to fit their easy way, the least effort way, the least time-consuming way.
うん
Like everything 最初、一番最初、最初、最初、最初、最初。はい、これは受けられます。
うん
Ladies and gentlemen from Japan and ladies and gentlemen from Japan who are abroad, that's not your method.
うん
Let's just cut it to the chase. It's
Mm.
not your method. When you are following some online application, that might be good for you as a supplementary,
うん
but it's not your method. That application was already created.
うん
You didn't create anything.
そうだね、アプリケーションは本当にサプリメントとしてやるならいいけど、それをメインにやってしまうと、またちょっと違う話になってくるからね。
There's another point that I wanna make it here, but we'll get to that soon. But I have a more, I'm not criticizing people. What I'm trying to say here is actually give valuable solution. And I think this is another point where the Japanese shoot their own food.
うん
When you study, and here's the kaiketsu, here's the 結果、役に立つ、シェアしたいの価値です。A lot of Japanese kind of forget that learning the language is creating your own another language personality. Because if you speak Japanese language, you have a Japanese personality because the language clothes you in Japanese language rules, Japanese social rules,
Yes.
Japanese culture rules.
うん
And so you behave according to Japanese culture, social etiquette, like 礼式, right? 上限関係、社会的制度, and then the language rules. So you have a Japanese type personality. When you pick up, let's say, French language, Spanish language, or English language, you have a chance to create something, not method for study the language. You can choose the methods that are already created, that are easy for you to understand. You can choose, oh, I'll be studying French grammar like this. Oh, I will be studying English output like this. You can choose those methods, but you are not creating methods to study here. What you should create is you should create bilingual Tanaka. You should create bilingual Kobayashi, bilingual Yamamoto, bilingual Hanaki, bilingual Hasegawa, and many, many other Japanese guys who already speak one language, which is your mother tongue, the Japanese language, and then you want to create another personality because you will be expressing yourself, the same person, but you will be expressing yourself in the different language, which is English, for example. And to do that, you can create new Hasegawa-san, new Yamamoto, new Hanaki, new Kobayashi, new Tanaka. To create that, you need to follow the English method. It's not your method. You create your personality in English when you master English. You definitely create something in English. Your second personality in English when you become bilingual. You're not creating the method for learning English language. You have to follow the method. And here's one more important, very important punchline. There was a Greek philosopher 3,000 years ago who said, only the knowledge that we achieve with great work and great effort lasts in our mind forever. So if you are looking for some shortcuts, some lazy ass, 一番最初, well, you will never create any bilingual mind or master any language because you're not making effort. If somebody figured it out 3,000 years ago that you need to make effort to understand how things work, change your perception, change your perspective, to see how other people communicate in different language, to see how in different communities people use the grammar different than your mother tongue, different than your Japanese native language. If you can accept that different perspective for the grammar, if you can accept that different perception for social form of behavior, culture form of behavior, or simply different meaning of the same words depending on the culture. Like chicken in Japanese, not never the same. It's the same words, but they carry very, very different culture and social meaning depending on Japanese culture and Anglo-Saxon culture. So that's very, very different knowledge that you need to accept. And that's difficult. That takes effort. If you can accept that, now you are creating. Now you are creating your English perspective, English perception. Now you are creating something that it will be your English. But as for studying English, when I speak with the Japanese students and they tell me, I discover a new thing. What did you do? I went to Kinokuniya and I bought the book about English grammar, and now I follow this book and my English improve. You didn't discover anything. You didn't discover anything. That's not a satori. For you, it's something new. In the Western world, we are calling this education. You start learning. Finally, you start learning new things. So don't call it discovery. Don't call it your method. Going to picking up the English grammar book and learning from it, it's not a discovery. And I know it's your opinion, but again, in English, it's just your opinion. Start creating a bilingual mentality. Master English. That's what you can create.
Okay.
So yeah, so that's that. Okay, let's go to apps, YouTube, Netflix, because that's another one. Oh my gosh, I have people who are telling me every day, oh, I study English. What? Translation, do you know what I heard the other day? Somebody came up to me and said that they study English from ChatGPT. I guess the world is changing. I use ChatGPT. I use ChatGPT all the time.
Me too.
French, for Spanish, for Japanese, English. Sure, I use ChatGPT. I don't study the language from ChatGPT. I use different apps for languages. I don't study from the apps. I watch Netflix. I watch YouTube. We are making a YouTube right now.
Yes.
But it's not about studying. Like, let me ask you this. If you study English language from ChatGPT, and ChatGPT is what, 2-3 years old?
Something like that.
So what do you mean? Before that, in 2020, nobody on planet Earth couldn't learn the language because there was no ChatGPT?
Oh, of course, different way to study, right?
Okay, but let's dig in. How old is YouTube or Netflix?
More than decade, right?
Okay, so let's say in 2000, okay, in 2000, there was no Netflix. 20 years ago, there was no Netflix. So what are you saying? If you have no ChatGPT and you have no Netflix, you cannot study English language? Right? Okay, let's go earlier. How about 1990, 34 years ago? So your parents' generation. So no YouTube, no Netflix, no ChatGPT, no apps. What 35 years ago people were not speaking English, not learning French in Japan, not learning Spanish or Chinese. Only now. So here's exactly my point. I use the applications. I use ChatGPT. I watch the Netflix. I watch the YouTube as well. We are recording the YouTube, but this is only supplementary tools, additional tools. So again, the Japanese are hitting their own, they're shooting their own foot. Very simple reason. They treat supplementary tools as a main tool.
そうだよね。
That's not a way to do things. You are the main tool. You have to always develop way of thinking about English vocabulary, English grammar, English speech skills, communication skills, conversation skills. And when you have those skills developed, you can definitely benefit from ChatGPT, YouTube, Netflix, different applications. But you need to do more than just listen, just watch, because that's passive. And most of the Japanese don't realize that they want to do minimum. They want to be very, very passive, just listen, just watch. And they think that one day, 突然、ある日は、雲を分けて、アマテラスお神様から私の脳に直接ペラペラ英語の知識は流れてもらう。思ってます。待ってます。よろしくお願いします。これは一度も行わないんです。
そうだね。
受け身のまま、パス、Netflix とか YouTube を聞きながら、もちろん上達できる。でも何をインプット。インプットするときはインプット上達できる。インプットするときは、お神様、アマテラスお神様に祈って、インプットやればやるほど、結局にアウトプットにマジックのままなっちゃう。これは行わないです。
そうだ。
Like I said, I use the input skills too. I use the ChatGPT, Netflix, different apps as a supplementary tool. But my main tool are linguistic techniques. Develop my skills. So I speak, I think, I create things, I create abilities. French, in Spanish, Chinese, English, Japanese, Russian, Polish, whatever language you wanna master. It's not the person on the screen speaking, it's you speaking. That's the most important.
Yeah.
Okay. One more. I have this guy. This is very, very Japanese. If I make a mistake, I cannot admit. 認めない。間違いを認めない。間違いだったら認めないです。Good luck! If you make a mistake and if you don't admit, good luck! 頑張って、いってらっしゃい。頑張って。私と友達やめます。That doesn't work. If you don't admit your mistake, it means you don't accept new knowledge. なので自分の首絞める。間違いを行ってみんな聞いててみんな気づいてあなただけ認めないです。なんか聞こえないでふり。見えないふり。いやーこれは見ざる言わざる聞かざる。なんか日光の猿のような。Oh, I don't see. Oh, I never said that. 偽物。Yeah, it's not me. If you don't admit the mistake, you don't accept the chance for the progress. You don't accept the chance for the new knowledge. So you basically sabotage. Sabotage means you deny
うん、
your own progress.
そうね、もったいないね、とってもね。
ものすごいもったいない
うん、
です。
うん、
Okay, so there you have it. That's all the 10 parts of the Japanese killing themselves with their Shinwa, their Gokai, their stereotypes before even touching English language.
うん。じゃあ、
Guys,
こ
think
の、この10個の中で自分に当てはまるものがあった人がいれば、一つずつちょっと変えていけば、自分の首を絞めずに済んで、もっと楽に楽しく英語を習得することができるようになるってことだよね。
ものすごい大事で
う
す。
ん、
You have to be authentic. You have to
うん、
be real to yourself. Don't pretend, because you're not the biggest lie and the biggest problem is not that we are trying to lie to somebody or pretend in front of the somebody.
うん、
The biggest lie is that you pretend in front of yourself and you lie to yourself. You lie in front of yourself, and then you are the biggest loser, and you don't
So-
even realize that. So
うん、
you know, the purpose of this video is to encourage everybody to realize that we are all perfect by making mistakes.
うん、
We all have a bad days. We all don't know the words, and we all have a Gokai and Shinwa.
うん、
That's human nature. But we have to talk about this.
うん、
We have to share about this.
うん、
We have to treat our mistakes, our errors, our faux pas. We need to treat it as a best friend,
うん、うん、うん、
not enemy, best friend. Because thanks to our imperfections, we can climb to perfection. We can climb to make progress every day.
Yeah, exactly.
That's it. Okay, think about this, guys. Give it all to you, and let us know if you're one of those 10 guys, and if you struggle with English and you want to progress your English. Let us know. We'll help you out. We'll work together. We are on the same boat. I have the same problems like you, just different languages. Okay. Let us know in the comments below, and talk to you sometime soon. Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.